Hi, I'm Faith Pinot from LA Times Studios in Washington, D.C. Here's some of today's top stories from the Los Angeles Times. One of the most powerful figures in modern American politics is stepping aside. According to Kevin Rector, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she will not run for re-election in 2026. The 85-year-old San Francisco Democrat has served in Congress since 1987 and was the first woman ever to lead the House. Pelosi made the announcement in a 6-minute video posted to social media Thursday morning, saying she's ready to, quote, clear the path for a new generation of Democratic leadership. Her decision comes just 2 days after voters passed Proposition 50, a ballot measure she helped bankroll, which will let Democrats redraw California's congressional maps in their favor. Pelosi's retirement marks the end of a political era. She led both of President Trump's impeachments, pushed through the Affordable Care Act, and helped steer her party through some of its toughest years. But her exit also underscores growing party pressure for younger leadership. Two Democrats, State Senator Scott Wiener and political strategist Shoykat Chakrabarti, have already launched campaigns for her seat. Pelosi didn't endorse a successor, but left San Francisco voters with this message, quote, know your power. We've made history and we must continue to lead the way. And travelers flying in and out of LAX should brace for possible cancellations starting Friday. The FAA says it's cutting air traffic nationwide by 10% as the government shutdown drags into its second month. According to reporters, Los Angeles is among 40 airports impacted, along with New York, Chicago, Atlanta, and San Francisco. Officials say the move is meant to ease pressure on air traffic controllers, who have been working without pay since October 1st. Some controllers have started calling out, missing shifts, and citing exhaustion. FAA officials say the system simply can't sustain normal operations.
And what we're finding is that our air traffic controllers, because of the financial pressures at home, are taking side jobs. They need to put food on the table, gas in the car, pay their bills. By the way, I do not want them to take side jobs. I want them to show up for work. We have asked them to show up for work, but I'm not naive to understand that they're trying to figure out how they meet their daily obligations.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says this decision wasn't made lightly, but was necessary to maintain safety in the skies. The flight reductions could mean nearly 2,000 cancellations nationwide, affecting hundreds of thousands of passengers. Airlines like United and Delta say they'll prioritize keeping larger, more popular routes intact and will refund passengers who choose not to fly. Travel experts are urging passengers to download their airline's apps to check for alerts and avoid the airport unless their flight is confirmed. The FAA says even if the shutdown ends this week, normal operations won't resume immediately, as controllers need time to recover from weeks of long shifts and many missed paychecks. And Typhoon Kalmagi slammed into central Vietnam Thursday after leaving a trail of devastation across the Philippines. There, authorities say at least 114 people are dead, and more than 100 remain missing. According to reporters, it's the deadliest storm to hit Asia this year. In Vietnam, the powerful storm has already dumped more than 2 feet of rain, with winds up to 137 miles per hour. Authorities evacuated more than 500,000 people from 5 provinces as landslides and flash floods threatened the region. In coastal cities, 10-foot waves and power outages battered communities, while in Ho Chi Minh City, officials warn of severe flooding from tides along the Saigon River. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has declared a national state of emergency as rescuers search for survivors in the hard-hit province of Cebu. The typhoon displaced more than 500,000 people there, toppling homes and triggering flash floods that swept through entire neighborhoods. Scientists say a warming climate is making storms across Southeast Asia stronger and more frequent, and both Vietnam and the Philippines are running out of time to recover between disasters. And job cuts are surging across the U.S. as artificial intelligence reshapes industries and companies look to slash costs. According to new data from Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, employers announced more than 150,000 layoffs in October, nearly triple the number from exactly a year ago. In fact, that's the most October job cuts in more than 2 decades. And experts are citing technology and warehousing as the main factors. According to Andy Challenger, the firm's chief revenue officer, AI adoption, softening demand, and higher costs are pushing companies to tighten their belts and freeze hiring. So far this year, job cuts have topped 1 million, the highest since the pandemic, while hiring plans are at their lowest since 2011. And major names are behind those numbers. Amazon is cutting 14,000 corporate jobs and UPS slashed 30,000, mainly due to automation. Meanwhile, Starbucks, Target, and Delta have also announced massive layoffs. Economists warn the wave of cuts could signal a weakening labor market, despite the Federal Reserve's claim of only a gradual slowdown. And as companies race to cut costs and adopt AI, the question isn't only how many jobs are lost, but how quickly the workforce can adapt to what's next. And it's a 1-2 punch for California's coast this week. King tides from a rare supermoon and an atmospheric river storm are flooding roads, closing beaches, and churning up dangerous surf. According to Andrew Campa and Karen Garcia, communities up and down the state are on high alert. Forecasters say the so-called beaver moon, the closest supermoon of the year, is creating a slight bulge on open water, leading to unusually high tides and stronger currents. Along the central coast, waves could reach up to 18 feet, with 8 to 12-foot breakers expected in Ventura County. And further north, heavy rain has already soaked the Bay Area and the Sierra foothills. And in some areas, they could see rain up to 3 inches before the system moves out Friday. Governor Gavin Newsom has already pre-deployed emergency crews to Del Norte and Humboldt counties, an area where flooding and debris flows are a concern. Southern California will avoid the brunt of the rain, but high surf advisories stretch from Sonoma to LA County, with officials warning of strong rip currents and an increased risk of drowning through the weekend. In the meantime, beachgoers should stay back from the water and, as always, avoid driving or walking through flooded areas. That's it for now. To read these stories and more, be sure to subscribe to the LA Times.